and my son messaging must have interfered with my thing because it cut out half the blimmin' video, so you wouldn't have heard what I was saying, unless you were one of the ones actually listening in through my phone. I was talking about how I've got my boxing gloves on and I'm ready to take Keir Starmer down. That I'm not hiding anymore. That my whistle has become a trumpet and I am blowing. And then I said, it got me thinking about how I need to do my version of the X-Files, but I'm going to create fictitious characters, but have their stories and investigations based on the real ones that I've worked on from the course of my lifetime. From seeing the woman with the long white hair beside my bed and hearing my dad talk about the stories about when she used to stand at the foot of his bed. She had long white hair. And my mum said when I retold that, when I told her the story of the memory that I had, I must have only been about 8 months old, which is actually one of the signs that you know that you are chosen for an ascension, because you remember things from when you were like little, like before you were one, like a baba. So I was saying, like my Black Dahlia murders, the gnome investigation, the woman who said the aliens came into her house and made her float through her kitchen, the ghost at the end of the highway, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Ziggy Adamski and PC Godfrey, and that these are all cases that we can put into the storyline. I've got thousands of cases that I've worked on over the course of my life, from trying to figure out all the things that used to happen to me as a kid, with my sister as a witness to a lot of them, and I will be able to turn them into storylines. And I'm thinking I could use my character Theo Lazarus, but he needs a partner like Mulder and Scully. I love Catatonia. I love that band. Remember Mulder and Scully? So they're going to work for the Ministry of Souls, but in the unexplained mysteries department, because as I was trying to explain in my last video, when there's unsolved mysteries and unexplained phenomenon woven through the fabric of our timeline, it's like when you're knitting and you drop a stitch, it leaves holes in the fabric of our timeline. And when people believe the wrong things, they perpetuate the myth of misunderstandings and misinformation, and it causes glitches in our evolutionary timeline, which is why we've had so many hundreds of years of people believing that hauntings and Satan and that are doing this, that, and the other because they don't understand it. Well, my version of Mulder and Scully will be able to explain it all. And before every episode, when the theme tune comes up, it'll say all the events in this story, while the main characters are fictitious, these are all based on real events, because they're real events that happened in my life through the cases that I've investigated. And I've investigated thousands of them. Only some of them are up on this YouTube. I had ones on my old YouTube. I had ones on my Instagram they took down. I had ones on my ex that I no longer engage with, so I'll turn them into a TV series. But as I was explaining, they need to be able to access the ministry, and I want them to be able to do it through the cosmic tree, because the cosmic tree is symbolic of the Big Bang, and all the Big Bangs that came before the last Big Bang, and how every Big Bang that came before the one we're in now is the reason why we're in the one we're in now. And a tree is symbolic of that what the universe looks like. You know how I say is brought to you by the letter K? Well, think of it like, the bits that poke up and down are like branches, or the roots. One goes in the ground and one goes up in the air. And yeah, because, and with a little help from my friends in Lucian's Dragon, when you climb up the tree, you end up having access to the ethers where the ancestors are. When you climb down the tree, you end up in the water kingdom where Anahita's cottage is, in the water kingdom in Lucian's Dragon. But if you go down further, like if you jump off the roots, you end up going through like a portal that takes you to the Tower of Oracles, which is symbolic of the all-seeing eye, the pineal gland sort of thing. It's hard to explain without showing you illustrations to the book, or actually like letting you read out the book. And I know it probably sounds confusing, but it's representing the cosmic tree. The grandmother tree is the cosmic tree, like the tree of life, but the tree of life for the whole universe. From, you know, your ancestral roots, keeping you grounded and planted in that, but also where the roots represent all the big bangs that came before. Because the universe is kind of, it looks like two cones, where the smallest points of the cone are touching. That's like the cosmic tree. But where the fabric of time has kind of like threaded itself, it's hard to explain with that. I mean, you've seen the stuff I've put up about it. I don't want to have to explain it right now. I just want to talk about how the last video didn't record all of the sound when my son messaged me, and I was talking about how I'm not afraid anymore, and I'm ready to face the media, and I'm ready to fight this in court, and I'm ready to hold Keir Starmer and Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Palantir and Zelensky and that responsible for everything that they've put all of us through. Especially me. My fight is your fight too. That's what I've been saying from day one. My fight is your fight too. And now I'm ready to fight. So I've put my boxing gloves on and I'm coming for Keir Starmer. I will not stop until that man is locked up and forced to resign for election fraud and war crimes and crimes against humanity and fraud and theft and piracy. So it's going to be a test for all the newsagents that I've just reached out to see how many of them have honest in their journalistic integrity. Let's see how many of them are paid for in order to cover up election fraud and, you know, war crimes. Because he's not a legal Prime Minister, everything that his government has done is 100% null and void. Everything will have to be torn down. All the people will have to be let out of jail and prison and, you know, their court cases dropped, which will then mean massive lawsuits. And like I said in my last video, I really hope that Russia launches massive lawsuits against all those people who aren't, whose elections were rigged to get them into power, thanks to Palantir and Musk and Bill Gates. And now you know why they let Musk and Palantir and Bill Gates have at us and our bodies and our technology and all that, because they know their secrets. They help them rig the elections. So I don't know the name for this show. I was thinking calling it like the Ministry Files or the Ministry of Souls or something like that. But the two main characters, they'll be fictitious, but every story will be real and based on all the cases that I've worked on, including where they have to work on investigating me, a woman who goes into like living trances, awake trances, where she's able to have these massive downloads that warn people about things that are about to happen in the world that come true. And the Ministry of Souls send my version of Mulder and Scully to go and investigate her and protect her while she's trying to warn humanity about the change in power that's coming. There's about to be a massive dynamic shift in power, and we're about to see a lot of world leaders getting arrested and resigning in order to escape their fate, but it's too late. So I'm just basically filling in the blanks for what wasn't recorded in the last video, because when my son messaged me it cut off the connection. I had to double check to make sure it recorded everything, and it only recorded pretty much right up until me letting Starmer know that my blood on his hands dream is about to come true, and he needs to prepare himself for handcuffs, because when this gets out, and it will get out, I promise you, it doesn't matter how much they try to shadow ban me and stop me from getting stuff out, it is getting out. And it's only a matter of time before shit hits the fan, and it's throwing right back at him. Okay? So like I said, I've put my boxing gloves on, and I'm not going down without a fight now. I want to get to my school. I want to find somewhere to call home. I want to fall in love. I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready to face the media. I'm ready to face the world. I said to my boy the other day, I'm ready. I've worked on myself. You know, my body's nearly there. I just got to tighten up a couple of loose pockets of skin that swimming will fix in no time. I'm ready to start making my stuff. I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to find love. I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready. I'm ready for it all. But in order to get there, I have to take all these people that have been standing in my way for all these years down once and for all. And it's going to start with Starmer and Christopher Black, the ones that are in my backyard, the ones that are on my doorstep. So it doesn't matter what they threaten me with. They can shadow ban me. They can steal money from my bank. They can commit fraud and identity theft and scan my phone and threaten me with the digital beast system and all that. I don't care, because nothing that they did, nothing Keir Starmer has done, no law that he has enforced on us, no price hikes, no tax increases, no net zero, not a single law he has passed is a legal one, because he's not the Prime Minister. He was never the Prime Minister. It was all a lie, people. He's been Prime Minister now. He's been running this country into the ground for 2 years when he had no right to, because he was never the rightful Prime Minister. But they had to make sure he was the Prime Minister so they could pull off their neo-Nazi destruction of the empire, genocidal war against Iran and Russia, blame the Jews, blame the Arabs, propaganda bullshit, thievery and piracy and warmongering and all that. They all had to be in power together. It's the only way they were going to pull it off. And Bill Gates, Microsoft, Palantir and Elon Musk helped them. And now I've just ripped the curtains wide open and said, there you go. Look at what they've done. This is who they really are. And nothing they've put us through has been legal. So all the people that he got locked up for saying meany, hurty words, all the people that have been punished for speaking up and speaking out and not sitting down and shutting up, they'll be able to launch massive lawsuits against Keir Starmer and the Labour government, against their, like West Yorkshire Police, like their local police and all that. Massive lawsuits coming. Massive lawsuits. Because it means that they were put through all of that for nothing. all the old people that were forced to give up their homes, all the farmers that have lost their homes, lost their farms, lost their land, the pubs and businesses and hotels and that have had to shut down, all the restaurants, all the people that have been forced to, like, you know how the supermarkets that have been selling fake food and all that because of Gates and, yep, massive lawsuits because none of it was legal. And the judges and lawyers and cops that helped them pass those laws will also have to be held accountable because they helped them commit fraud. So all hell's about to break loose. And I'm the one that opened the gates and kicked that fat bitch down. Boom. Because I'm done playing. I'm not staying silent anymore. I stayed quiet for so many years, and after seeing what I had documented over the last few days, since I've been finding all the little crumbs I've been leaving myself, I'm pissed off and ready to fight because it's like I was telling the truth the whole time. And everybody laughed and pointed and called me names and talked about me and said the most horrendous things about me, and I was telling the truth the whole time, and now I have the evidence. And it's going to look really bad for people, for companies like Palantir, because it means that they fabricate things in order to commit fraud against people. They stole from me. They stole money from me. That $15.99 they stole from me is going to end up costing them millions. And like I said, you know, I hope Vladimir Putin sues the ass off these countries. Not just to get back everything they took from him, but for treating him like Cinderella, letting him just have the little crumbs of dignity. I know what that's like. As you'll see from some of the stuff I posted this morning, my ex-husband wanted me to beg for slices of bread. So I know what that's like. So I hope he really does investigate all of this and then take every single country that put him and Russia and Ukraine through this for no other reason than greed and power grab, sue them within an inch of their life to the point where he destroys their economies. Because that's what I plan on doing. But I said in the last video, I said he's Cinderella, but I'm the fairy godmother, and he shall go to the ball. So, yeah, when they switched my phone off this morning, I was like the Iron Giant. All the weapons came out, and it's like, no, I'm going in, and I'm gonna blow the lid off this mofo. Starmer will feel it from where he is. I promise you now, he's gonna feel it. So I'm coming in hot and hard. Thor's hammer is coming in like an atomic bomb of truth and justice. And then I'll be able to get my money and skip away, find somewhere to call home, find someone to love me who isn't afraid of me being a spooky bitch. And then I can settle down and build my school and make my TV shows and movies and video games and tell my story. But my story needs to be told because I've had some adventures put under my belt that investigations that I've done and things that have happened to me since I was born from a paranormal supernatural perspective that needs to be told in a TV series, and it'll be my version of the X-Files. I just don't know what I'm going to call it yet. But it's coming. But first, I have to knock Keir Starmer and Elon Musk and Christopher Black and that out of the way first, because they're the ones that are going to pay for it all. And trust me when I say they are going to pay for what they put me through, because they put my sons and my sister through it too. And it's one thing to come after me, but when you're affecting the mental and emotional well-being of my kids and my sister, that's a whole different story. You don't mess with a Scorpio, but you don't mess with a Scorpio's kin either. And when I come in with my hammer of Thor, it's going to have the Scorpio sting attached. And unlike most Scorpios, I will be injecting the venom. When I take you down, Keir Starmer, when I take you down, Christopher Black, when I take you down, Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Peter Thiel, you won't get back up. Okay? So I'm going to go now. I'll speak to you later. Toodles!